I need 4 volunteers. I need 2, well, I already have my 2 African American volunteers. So, bro, you, Taryn, and come on down. And I need 2 white people. And ideally, we're doing role plays. So I need, ideally, 2 white people who can feel comfortable doing some kind of role play piece. Okay? Bro, is that you? You've done some acting, you're good? Close enough? All right, 1. And I need a woman, ideally a woman, who's, you don't have to act. Yeah, but you gotta be white. You're like mixed. Yeah. I need a, dude, have you volunteered yet? Or can you go there? All right, come on. All right, you can have a seat. This is the white side, this is the black side.
Anna. Nice to meet you.
So, what's your name, bro?
I'm James, and he's also James.
James. Oh, that'll be easy for me. What's your name?
Hannah.
Hannah? That's a nice white name. Taryn, another black Taryn, and James. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, y'all. You could, can you all back up just a little bit? Just a tiny, we're gonna back you up just right here. Okay, good. Here's what we're doing. I'm gonna tell African American history, meaning Black American history in North America, in the United States. But I'm going to tell Black American history as though it happened to white people. Okay? So we're calling this Black Devils and Racial Superiority. And so let's go to the first slide. So we're telling the history like this. James and Taryn, you got to see this. Here, the thing is that you all are going to miss some of these slides, so you're going to be turning around a lot to get that, all right? But, so imagine that in the Americas, North America, Central, South America, were populated by people, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, who crossed over the Bering Strait, came down here, populated this region. And then some Africans started exploring the world, building ships and exploring the world in the late 1400s. And so they took off to the Americas. And they said, hey, we found y'all, so you all are descendants of those people, and you all encountered this land. You discovered this land. The discoverers. The people that were already here, but nonetheless, you all discovered them. And then you had all this land available to you. And they needed to do something with the land because, you got land, but land only has value when it produces something, right? And so now you got to figure out how to increase the level of production that you're bringing to things. And so they had this brilliant idea. Well, we need labor. Why don't we go up to Europe? Because there's plenty of white people there, there's plenty of poor people there, and we can justify bringing them to the Americas, and we will enslave them. And those are your ancestors. And you are descendants of those people, former slaves. That these folks, Taryn and James, in their ancestors enslaved. And they brought your ancestors over to the Americas. And then, over time, a whole history of things happen. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell that history. And everything that you see, all of the data that you are going to see, all of the stories that I'm going to tell, the way I frame it, the way I discuss it, everything actually happened. All the numbers you see are real numbers. Everything is real. The difference is the numbers that I'm using, the stories I'm using actually happened in real life, happened to people of African ancestry in the United States. But what I've done is I've flipped them around so that the numbers that you see, the stories I tell them and show them as though they happened to the ancestors of Hannah and James, to white people. And that all the things that were done, the negative things were done by black devils, their ancestors. Okay? So you got it? So I'm going to retell the story. And I'm telling the story for all of us. But in particular, those of you who identify as white, and those of you who identify as African and Caribbean, and really don't understand what it is that black Americans, African Americans, people who trace their ancestry to slavery in the United States, who don't understand what it is they're talking about, because you're from Nigeria, or you're from Ghana, or you're from Sudan, or you're from somewhere, and you're recent here, and you really don't get what black Americans are talking about all the time with regard to race relations, right? So I'm also doing this for you. So this is history, black history, as though it happened to white people. Are we good? So everyone's clear about where we're going here? All right, man. Let's go. Next slide. So these are your ancestors. When you study history and when you engage and when you're going through the history books, this is the kind of stuff that you see. You don't see a lot of it. It's a few pages. You'd like to see more because these are your ancestors. They were enslaved by them, and here are photos of them picking cotton and stuff, right? And so when you see that, you feel some kind of way, okay? And when you see it, you all feel some kind of way, but, you kind of pass over this in the history books a little bit because it's like it's not your story. And it's like, all right, whatever. So now, here's what it's important for you all to do, right? Before I keep going. You're moving into the role, okay? So you take yourself into the place. It's your ancestors that did this. Your ancestors were the slave owners. Your ancestors were the slave masters. You are the ones on top. Today even, you grew up, on average, way better off than they grew up, on average. And you all got to go into the role that you grew up with hearing the stories of being on the bottom. You grew up hearing the stories about them and about what they did and what they did to your people and how you're on the bottom. Off to everything. Education, income. When people talk about police killing people, we're not talking about police killing them. It's mostly black police doing things that are more likely to negatively affect your people. The stories are about your people. So you need to go into that role, okay? That's where you're at. So you start thinking in that way. So when you see this photo right here, you feel a little bit different than they feel, okay? Exactly. Yep. But you're really white James who grew up on the bottom, who grew up experiencing the racism. So just get yourself into that role, man. Because white people are on the bottom, my friend. Okay? Got it? And you all, yeah, you got it, man. You get to be king for a day. All right. Next one. So and here you are. Here's a picture of white slaves. Right, these are the pictures that you see. When you take white studies classes, which you take, and we have white studies classes at the university, and we have a lot of them, and students are always lobbying for more, and you all are thinking that more people should take white studies classes, and when you hear about white studies departments and white studies and white studies and white studies, and what are you thinking? Dude, can you get a close-up of her face, bro? Just hang on. What I want to do? You got it? Can you, bro? Joy, I want a close-up of her face. Got it? All right, ready? And white studies, man. They need more. What are you thinking? You just do the face that you did. Dude, it was just a face like, I don't give a shit, man. Dude, you do the face. I don't really give it. What are you saying? Got it? Go into the role. Okay, you're there? Let's go. Next one. And next slide, bro. So here you are. Here's wealthy black businessmen. New York City, this is during slave trade. So here they are. These are the guys running the country, man. These are the guys that made money off the slave trade. You know, these are the people in New York City or wherever that are like doing well. These are your ancestors. And then when you see that, you're just like, yeah, all right. When you see that, you're like, yeah, those are the ones that caused the problem. Those are the ones that start. That's right there. And they're doing quite well, man. And that's just one of many, many, many different photos. Next slide. Middle-class black family. 1860, so right as the Civil War. There you are. Those are your ancestors, man. It's nice. There you go. Yep. It's not your family. Next one. There's Civil War, protecting our heritage. So those are the folks. You know, y'all are out, like, you know, what'd you fight the Civil War for? You fought to keep slavery going. You fought to keep these folks enslaved. Like, you fought the Civil War. You went and battled other people because you believed in keeping these folks enslaved. Like, what the fuck? Seriously. Like, that's it. And you went to war, one of the most bloody, brutal civil wars of all time, and you fought it. And there's some of the guys that went off and did the fighting, man. To keep these guys down. Next slide. And there you go. So now what happens? Civil War's over. And, you know, the side that wanted to keep slaves enslaved, so y'all, like, you lost. The ones that wanted to keep the slaves enslaved, you lost, right? So now you got Reconstruction. So what happens afterwards? So these people, former slaves, their ancestors, they're poor. They're free now, right? Okay, ready? And you guys can talk at any time here. So I'm just going to keep you going until you're ready to go. So they're free now. And by the way, I'm just trying to go slowly to get you into this place. So look, where'd they go after they were freed? Where'd they go? They had nothing, because y'all gave them nothing. Nothing, man. You can get shit. And they have no land. They have no property. You all made certain that after the war, all of the efforts that were made to give their ancestors at least maybe like 10 acres and a mule, or 40 acres and a mule, or something, or a job, or anything. You all successfully lobbied that none of that would happen. None of it happened, only in very tiny pockets. And so the war is over. These people have no land, they have no property, they have no money, they have nothing. They have nothing. Where'd they go?
Back to the plantation.
They went back to the plantation. See, she knows her history. Back to the plantation. And you all, like I said, made sure that that's where they stayed. And so Reconstruction, in many ways, their ancestors, my friends, you all in your like kind of uppity ways of like, yeah, we're all good and we're doing our thing. And like, you know, yeah, they're going to start. Where are they going to start? You guys have already taken all the wealth. After the war, you all took the wealth back. It's not like you took it away from other black people and gave it to white people. You didn't give white people anything. You held on to that. You held on to all the land. You still made the laws. You still controlled all of the courts. You still controlled all the land. You were responsible for taxes, for education, for everything. And you hung on to that. And you held it. And they got nothing. And in many ways, their ancestors were poorer after the war than when they were slaves. Many people argue that, but you wouldn't know that because you've never taken a white studies class. You've never studied Reconstruction. You've never had any idea what the hell happened after the war. So you just sit here, look at you, man. It's like, what are you majoring in? Biobehavioral health. What are you majoring in? Biological science? Political science? Yeah, and she's majoring in white studies. Because, you know, make sure you use the microphone. And she's majoring in like white studies because she wants to make sure that, you know, she knows her history. And like he has a white studies minor because he wants to understand the history.
Do I?
You do, dog. All right, ready? Next slide. All right, so here we go. Jim Crow laws. So here we go after Jim Crow. So you all didn't want to compete with them because like why would you want to compete? You want no competition. Right? Because you got to compete. What's that?
There is no competition.
There's no competition? Why not, dude?
Because we're superior and y'all are inferior than us.
Yeah, but what, don't you want fairness? Like slavery's over? Like, don't you want to like,
We've been on top of the world for how long now? So why would I want to be equal to them?
well, what's that?
We've been on top of the world for how long now? So why would I want to be equal to them?
Okay, so you don't want to do that. All right, dude. And so, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. Like, I think the opposite. There's like tons of competition. Like, everyone, it's America. Like, you got to be competitive. Like, that's the whole point. Like, black people, white people, like, Mexican, everyone competes. Like, not against each other necessarily. Like race. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. But like, everybody competes individually.
Dude, what are you
man.
talking?
You know what I mean?
Fuck. Dude, black people aren't going to listen to that. You know what I mean?
No.
You're going to convince black people, the rulers of this were like, whatever, to do what?
No, they're the ones like forcing capitalism, right? Is that wrong?
Yeah, all right, so. Oh, yeah, so you're going to convince them to give you a fair shot.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, so that you compete, bro.
Do it
that,
yourself.
Right, dude. Dude, you're going to convince them to allow your kids to compete with their kids. That's basically what you're talking about. After the war, they should have said, okay, look, we were wrong. Slavery was really a bad idea. Sorry, you all. Here, take half the wealth. Take what? Wait, what's that?
That hasn't happened yet.
No, dude.
It's 1890. That hasn't
It's
happened
1890,
yet.
dude. All right, so here we go. So we have Jim Crow and we have forced segregation. Okay? So we're going all the way up through the 1960s. And you all, just in order to ensure that you don't even have to interact with these people, you segregate them. They have separate schools. They have separate drinking fountains. They have separate places of worship. They have separate neighborhoods. You don't let them live in your neighborhoods. You don't let them study in your schools. You don't let them go to your community centers. You don't let them get loans from banks. If their ancestors happen to find a place where they could buy some land or start a business or whatever, they got to go to one of your banks. And then your banks, what do you just say? That face right there, like, no, man, no. It's not happening. So
Separate but equal.
separate but equal? So say separate, but they're still equal. Oh, yeah, they're equal. Oh, they
Define
really are
equal.
I fucking love black people like that. See what I mean? This is like what? Dude, this is why they call you the Black Devils. You know what I mean? Under their breath. They don't like say it a lot until you ever hear it. But like, come on, man. Separate but equal, y'all. Yeah.
Not equal.
I don't think so. All right, so you got separate everything, and there's a nice white family right there. Next slide, bro. And here's another white family. This is what you see. When you all look at your photo albums or other people who are like you or people in your family tree, these are the kinds of people that you see. That's not what you see in your family tree. There are a few people, but mostly it's not, because that's not your history, man. Look at no shoes, no nothing. Next one. And then here's what y'all did, right? Because these people got uppity and started to actually demand things, or even just didn't even demand, just asking for things, right? Like maybe wanting to change jobs, or wanting to move, or wanting to be out at night, or wanting to go wherever. You all decided, you know what? It's going to be dangerous if we don't keep these folks in control. So some of you got really smart. And you started this little clandestine organization of like a subterranean police force. You called it the KKK. And so all the people under those hoods are black people, of course, right? Because that's what you did. You all are like, you're amazing, man. You're just not even going to let them get on the first rung of the ladder. Next slide. And even, in 1925, 25,000 members of the KKK went right down Washington, the Main Street, Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., right up to the Capitol building, as a way to tell you all,
Stay inside.
stay inside, stay in our places. Like nothing's going to happen here. And you all are just going to keep going. Whatever you need to do to stay on top.
They need to stay in their place. So
What's that?
they need to stay in their place.
Well, dude, that's racist.
That's how it was.
Hey,
What's that?
You see, they're still wearing the hoods though. They won't show their faces though.
Yeah, why won't you show your
Yeah,
faces?
exactly. They won't step up. Like they won't. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
even if we did show our face, we would still get away with it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but why, take
why
that?
you want to show your face? Like what? Yo.
To be more intimidating.
Yeah?
It's not like you got like like it's not Muslim or anything. Like you don't gotta, you know what I mean? It's like what's up with that?
It's not like a religious
It's not
thing,
religious.
dude.
Like
It's not a religious
You're just
thing,
trying to
you're
hide your
just choosing
face.
it.
Like
We're still more intimidating, and we're still going to get away with it, so it doesn't really matter.
I
Okay,
don't know
all right.
about that.
All right, go to the next one, dude. And then, y'all, like, this is why you have problems, right? And then, like, the guy on the left, he dared. You know what he did? He dared to look at a black woman off to kind of the side glance. He dared. And y'all just, like, came together and lynched the dude. The other three guys? Nothing, man. Nothing. They really didn't do anything. Y'all just decided you were going to show these white men a lesson.
He should have kept his eyes forward.
Yeah, okay. Dude, seriously. All right, go to the next slide. Okay, here, let me show you this. Here's something. So in the war, in the New York City area, y'all just like, you see, the problem is you all wrote the rules. And all the rules are written by you. Most, these people are talking about it all the time. But most people, like people around you, they don't even study it. They don't really care. They're not paying attention. They're not taking white studies classes. So they're not learning history from their perspective. They're not learning about all the things that happen, all the levels of racism. These people are talking, you're talking about lynchings all the time. There's like a photographic display of lynchings of white people. Most of y'all never even go to it because you're not thinking about it. It's like, okay, there's another thing on lynchings. There's another thing on slavery. For you, slavery's just like this time that happened that was rather unfortunate, and we're sorry about it. And like, okay, but for these people, it is the foundation of their reality in this country. And it led to everything. After slavery, y'all didn't just get to the starting line and be like, okay, here we are, we're equal now, and we're all gonna run up the starting line together. No, you all like made sure that they were gonna be like back here. Not only back here, but like really back here, like back this far. And you all were already halfway up the ladder. Like you're already there because you already control everything. So you could have said, okay, listen, this is really not fair. Let's go. But you didn't. And then what kind of things do you all say? Like, what do you say?
We gotta move on.
Got to move on.
past in the
man.
past.
I love that.
Pick yourself up by bootstraps, right?
Yeah, dude, work a little harder. So yeah, hey, James and Hannah, you might be back here and your family might be back here, but you're just gonna have to work a little harder, right? You gotta.
You
work
can do
harder.
anything in America if you believe.
You can do anything. That's the kind of stuff they say, right? You got it? And you're not paying attention. Here, let me give you another one that these people know about and that they talk about and that they engage in. But you all don't even pay attention. And after the Second World War, the government, which you all controlled, right? Because you really control the government still. It's all about you. You gave a few token places for white people, but mostly it's all you. And what you did was, for all the soldiers coming back from the war, in order to get the economy going again, kind of a really smart move, you decided, hey, we're going to give free education to veterans. We're going to give low-interest loans, essentially, or no-interest loans to veterans. We're going to do these things because we need to get veterans back into society. But what it was not veterans, it was black veterans, not white veterans. So you had 67,000, just in New York City alone, 67,000 black veterans benefited from free education and low or no interest loans to buy a house to move into the middle class, because that's how y'all operated. And these folks here, they came back from the war too, because they did fight in the war. In spite of all the bullshit you put them through, they still fought for this place called the United States. And in fact, 12% of all the veterans in the New York City area were white. But in fact, only 100 of them benefited. That means 7,000 of them didn't because of your racist nonsense. You just ensure that nothing, doesn't matter. Every moment that these folks could move forward and maybe get somewhere, y'all just like put a stop to it. Oh, you don't see it that way, bro? How do you see it?
I mean, like, you know, like things happen. You know, you gotta like move forward. You know, you can't dwell on the past. You know, sometimes, you know, America, you know.
Dude,
whatever.
when
That's not separate but equal, though. So many of them went to school, but we didn't. And we
sure-
still fought in the same
They
war.
should have worked a little bit harder.
Dude, it's separate and unequal. It's totally unequal. And here's the thing. You all, right? You don't study it. You don't have to study it. You don't pay attention to it, right? Like you all are studying it all the time. You know this stuff. Like this is second nature to you, right? You talk about it around the dinner table. You talk about it with your families. And you all are just like, look at you just sitting there in your smug looks. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yo, this is life and death for them. Look at you. You're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, I'm busy. I got to go out with my friends tonight. Are we done with this already?
I just think we should move forward from it. Why
Just
keep
move over?
Yeah, why keep dwelling on the past?
Yeah, why keep going? Why do you keep going on it? Why do you keep talking about it?
Because it's not over yet.
What's not over, dude?
The echoes of slavery are around us, even stepping out of character to this day, so we can't claim it's over if there's still parts of the system that are integrated in those mindsets still.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah, all right, go ahead.
The Constitution was written when there was slavery. Like, think about that. Like, the whole Constitution. So they should just rewrite that, John, like now. Like, without
You-
slavery.
You had a black president, so
Dude, good idea. That's what I'm saying.
Yo, screw these amendments,
Oh, here it
yo.
is. Oh, here you go. You ready? I know you're thinking like, these damn white people with their radical ideas. Yeah, rewrite the Constitution. That's
Why
like
rewrite it?
That's
It's just-
just something that a white person would say. You know what I mean? Like, fuck white people. You're. Dude, you're like, dude, exactly. Totally.
Retweet.
Like white people, like, you always like coming up with this radical stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, whatever. You don't even have to listen to them, because.
True.
Dude, here's. Dude, you get nothing, man. Here's another one. So here, Highland Estate. Here's a couple families. Here's. Now we're in the 1960s. Here's a nice white family. Here's a nice black family. Y'all like just keep doing really well. Okay, go to the next one. Here it is. Oh, here's some black women. Sorority women studying at a university, and there's the quote. Anyone can be successful in the United States because this is the land of freedom. Black people, the land of freedom. You created the land of freedom. This is it. Just hang on to that stuff, right? Just hang on to that motto. And just keep telling them that. Because if you just keep telling them that, eventually they'll stop those white studies classes and all that white radical bullshit and thinking about it and stuff. And they'll eventually get it. And they'll come along. And they'll stop hassling you about this stuff and talking about slavery and talking about inequality and talking about segregation and Jim Crow and da-da-da-da. Dude, exactly. Did you get a look? Bro, hang on. Dude, hang on. Look right into that camera. And do that look that you just did. That's the look right there. The one you just did, rolling your eyes. Exactly, dude. That's it. Okay? Next one, ma'am. So here's some dudes right there, some hipster guys. Next one. And then 1964, beginning of the civil rights movement, the white civil rights movement. What was the guy's name? Marty King, we'll say, right? The white guy. Marty
My
Green.
man.
What was his name? Marty Smith. Martin Smith. The guy. Yo, man. Here. You ready? Black people? Explain this to me. How is it that 100 years after the end of slavery, 47% of white families were living below the poverty line? How'd y'all manage that, really?
once again, they worked hard enough, Sam. And
So they didn't work hard.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, maybe,
Maybe
I
what?
don't know, work hard enough, stop being lazy, you know.
Dude, hang on, dude. 47%, my man, okay? Explain to these good white people right here how it is that 47% of their families could be living below the poverty line at the end, after 100 years. 100 years after the end of slavery?
Stop being lazy.
The systems you created put us there.
Systems that.
Yo, man, and you guys drew the poverty line too. So think about that. Like you know what I mean? Like.
Wait, what was that you said,
I'm
dude?
saying like they determine the poverty line.
Dude,
like,
exactly.
like our poverty is like.
Yo, exactly. Yo,
Yo,
you're even
bro.
determining the poverty line. Shit, if they determine the poverty, dude, that's a good point. Exactly. But you know what?
It's probably like 90. It's probably all.
Dude, wait, hang on. Talking to that.
Yo, this is still like 1960, bro. It's probably like 95, bro. 47 poverty. What do you call poverty? Like, can you
Dude.
eat? Like, if you have food? Like,
Respond to that. You all are even, dude.
man, that's poverty. Yo, look at their table. I'll bet.
Dude, exactly. He's a, dude, you got him confused here. He doesn't even know what you're talking about.
He's off his
Exactly.
guard.
Dude, this is the problem. You don't even know what he's talking about because, see, from your perspective, he's just like talking over you. And let me explain what he's saying because this is a brilliant idea. You're producing the poverty line. If they were making the poverty line, it's probably 70% or 75% of white people are living below the poverty line. You're even laying it out. Dude, exactly. So you're like, you got it. So you're actually going to inflate the poverty. You're going to deflate it so that more of them are below the poverty line. So you're not even doing that.
It wasn't me.
Dude,
Not all black people.
dude, I love it. See, no, you're not going to get through, right? This is the point.
Yo, if he was in the 1960s,
Dude.
he'd be like, yo, if he was in the 1960s, he'd be like, and he was like, I don't know. If he was in the 1960s, he'd probably be like, poverty is, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were still like.
No, he'd probably be just denying it. Dude, no, you ready? If he was in the, no, dude. If he was in the 1960s, he'd be denying it just like he is right now, is what he'd be doing. All right, here we go. You ready? Let's go. All right, next one, bro. So here we go. White people started in the civil rights movement. They started to protest, especially white youth. Y'all started to say, we're not taking this anymore, and you start protesting. And so you have rioting. And what did you all do? You called the police out, and you started killing them. You started killing them. All they're protesting for is equality. You know, you understand what the riots and the civil rights movement and all the marches and all the stuff by Martin Smith or whatever his name was? Because all they want is equality and a fair shot, and you call the police out. The soldiers, not even the police. These are soldiers here that you called out, black soldiers, and you start shooting them down.
Exercising our right to assembly.
Dude, exactly, but they don't care.
You guys didn't protest the right way. So
White
like,
people
No,
don't
they
have
didn't.
the right to
Wait, hang on.
assembly yet.
They didn't protest the right
White
way.
people don't got
Oh,
no
okay.
assembly rights yet.
47% below the poverty line, bro. How would they protest how would they protest the right way?
write to your congressman. Vote.
Wait, hang on. Did you hear that? Write to your congressional representatives.
Ah,
You shouldn't be out in the
because
street.
they listen.
Okay. That's a beautiful black response. I love that. Yep. Yeah.
Yo, what is
All right.
up with your Congress too? Like all black. It's also all black.
Dude, it's all black. Dude.
All black Congress. Yo, we should get some white
In
Congressmen.
1960s? That's
White
part of what
congression-
you're rioting
White
about.
congressmen. I know the congresswoman and congressman.
This is
All
a
right,
place
let's
of
go.
equality.
Next one. And then you kill people. So here's another white. Look, every white person knows this image here. There are lots of images like this. You all, once in a while, it's in your history books and you pass it over. These people all know it. Dude, exactly. Go ahead, next one. And here it is. And then you know what this is? When you all succeeded, you all are just so brutal, man. When you succeeded in stopping them from integrating schools, because when they integrated schools, the government forced society, racist black society, forced them to accept white people into their schools, okay? Forced them. But you all successfully stopped it in many places. And you rioted, and this is a photo of an example of when you successfully stopped their children from going to school with your children. That's all they want, man. That's all they want. Education.
Quality of education. That way we can work harder and get out from underneath the poverty line.
Exactly, man. Okay, next one. Ready? Okay, so we're all equal now. But we have the civil rights movement. You all got the laws passed that you needed to get passed. And you all had to give up some things that you had to give up. And I love how you sit like that, because that's the perfect way that black people would sit in this moment when you're having a conversation about race. Here, stand up real fast. Let me just show you. This is exactly how black people always sit. Just like this. You're going to talk about race with white people, and white people are going to start challenging you on stuff about all the bullshit that your people have done, and you're going to sit back like this and be like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Got it. I love that. And in fact, not only that, but you're sort of even turned like this, even away from them. Like you're not even you should be interested in this stuff, man. Why? Why should they be interested in this? Come on,
Because we're Americans too, and we deserve an equal opportunity at all the same options you have in life.
We're all equal.
Not yet.
Wait, they should have all the opportunity. You think you should have all the opportunities that they have, and that your children should compete with them, and so on and so forth.
What opportunities do we have that you guys don't?
Better education. It's easier for you to access certain institutions, like we mentioned, Congress. We don't have equality in representation in bodies of government as well.
That's how I would say it too if I talked like that. Yeah.
Dude,
Exactly.
do you not think that? Do you not think that you have it better off?
I mean, we have it a little bit better off, but not that much. If y'all worked the same like how we did, then y'all would have it as well.
You're saying if you were where we were, it would be easier for you, just inherently based on your race?
I mean, we all have an equal chance.
Yo, man,
succeeding, so.
think about you just saw those pictures, bro. We came from that. Like you guys came from businessmen. We came from like slaves, like on the boats. You know, they was on boat. Yo, don't
Dude,
zoom in on me.
exactly,
Like,
dude.
all right. I'll talk in the camera. Yo, listen, man. Wait, I'm as a black person.
Dude,
right now.
hang
Keep that in
on.
mind.
This is the problem, right? No, hang on. Let the white man speak, because white men.
Let the white man speak.
There aren't many places where white people get an opportunity to tell their story. You know what I mean? So let the white man speak for a moment.
Look, man.
Damn.
Ancestors came here in chains on they were on the plantations for years, and then you saw that war. We fought in the war for y'all, and then we come back, and y'all put us back on the plantation right after the war. He just said this. And then we just want to be in the schools. We just want to go to school. We want to learn. We want to go to the library.
James,
Nah.
James,
Dude.
calm down. Calm down, James.
It doesn't even matter, dude. Nah, it doesn't even matter. Dude, it
James.
doesn't even matter. You know
Thank
what I
you,
mean?
white James.
Yeah.
Sir,
All right, dude.
sir, calm down, please.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Let's see how equal we are. Next slide, bro. Okay. Let's look at what it looks like today, my friends. Taryn and James, Black Taryn, Black James. Let's check this out. So this is you. 1983. This is change in household wealth. This is everything people own, their retirement accounts, their homes, their cars, all their assets, minus their debt. Okay, that's your wealth, minus your debt. So average. So this is average total wealth right here. It's about $350,000 per household. Okay? In 1983. Look at white people. This is the consequences of your actions over the course of nearly 400 years. This is it. Look at them down here. This is them at about $70,000. Dude, you're rolling your eyes. Motherfucker, this is serious, right? You're rolling your eyes. Like, this is the thing. Like, come on, man. Look at 2013. Look at how much, dude, look at how much your wealth increased look, it's 30 years.
The
And look at how much,
system.
dude, look how much they increased. Look at how much they increased. Fucking seriously.
Why is it always our fault?
What's that?
Why is it always our fault?
Dude, why is it always your fault?
Look at the two colors up there, and then look at the other two colors, the red and the blue. it go up from blue to red. Look how much you went up.
Dude.
Look how much you went
Dude,
up. I mean, went
just
up.
save your breath, dude. They're not even listening. Look,
They're not listening, James.
Hang on, go. Let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. Ready? Hey, look at this. Okay, now we have 2013. This is 2013, okay? Here's black people in 2013. Here's white people in 2013, okay? This is absolute wealth, okay? Look at, this is predicted in 2043. Look at that. Y'all are gonna be rich. Doubling your wealth. Look at you all. Oh, you're gonna increase it. Oh, it looks like maybe about $15,000 you'll increase per.
We live in worse neighborhoods.
Dude, it's absolutely inflation.
We live in worse
Dude, look
neighborhoods.
at this. You're still setting systems up where it doesn't matter. It's like, look, you started up here, going up the ladder to upward mobility. You just ensure that no matter what happens, you just keep going further and further and further. The whole system is rigged in your favor.
Worse neighborhoods, worse schools, worse opportunities.
Maybe you took care of your neighborhoods. Maybe there wouldn't be a problem.
Maybe if what?
They took care of their neighborhoods, Sam.
Oh, you took care of your neighborhoods and
Right, because
stuff?
we're getting shot up.
Maybe
in our
if they
neighborhoods.
saved.
Maybe,
oh, I got
maybe
it.
if the police
Oh,
weren't
yeah, I got
shooting
it.
up
You ready?
every single kid that walks
No,
down
dude,
the street,
hang on.
like.
Try this one, dude. If you actually invested your money like
Yo,
we do.
have you been in Chicago? You walk around, you got to be scared. Like you're scared
No,
when you
hang on,
walk the
hang on, hang
streets.
on. Black people have something to say to you. Ready?
You guys should invest your money into white communities
What money?
Yeah.
and the white businesses.
you
Money
should
we don't
invest
make
a
because
little
we
better.
get paid less.
Okay, here. Let's do another one. You ready? Go to another one. Median family wealth. Here we go. Median
Yeah, what
family
money?
wealth. 2015. This is net wealth. Once again, here we go. Family wealth. Okay. Median. This is median.
Y'all got that old money.
And look at whites. Look at that. Dude, go to the next one. I'm not sure how you, here's unemployment rates. Oh, look. Oh, guess what? Hey, guess what? The white unemployment rate is almost twice as high as yours. Like, oh my God, what a surprise.
If you hire us and pay us, we'll invest that money.
Dude. Yeah. Dude.
If you hired us, we'd be able to invest
Dude,
that
if
money
you
in white
hire- okay,
neighborhoods,
let's talk about
maybe.
that. Ready? Go to the next one. Life expectancy and ancestry. Here we go. Black Americans. Life expectancy. Y'all, it's about 79 years. Look at white Americans. You're down here at 75 years. Dudes, they don't make as much money as you, more likely to be unemployed. They're less likely to live as long as you do. It's like how do you justify that? Like at what point in time do you actually start to pay attention? Maybe you could take a white studies class. Maybe you could study this stuff. Maybe you could take a class like a Social 19 class or whatever. Some of you all could learn about. Do you teach your kids this stuff? Do you ever talk about this at home? No? Do you all talk about this at home?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say like y'all like try like the big tobacco and everything. Like they make us all like smoke cigs. Like they target our communities and
No,
everything.
they totally target your
Totally
communities
target
with
and like
tobacco.
food, McDonald's. We got a McDonald's on every corner. Like all that bad food.
You don't have health-
It's because we can't afford to eat healthy
Dude, exactly.
because of our
Totally.
wages. So people white women are the most likely to be overweight in America, and they die early because they can't afford to eat properly because they're too busy working, taking care of their kids.
Yo,
Real
black-
Y'all
statistic.
can't cook and make a home cooked meal?
Yeah.
Y'all can't cook and make a home cooked meal?
Can't afford to cook.
Y'all can afford McDonald's though.
Dude.
McDonald's is cheaper than cooking, my guy. I don't know if you've eaten it, but
Dude, no, seriously? Is that it? That's your response? Just cook? All right, go to the next one. You ready? Okay, here we go. Here's every day. This is what we see. This is like we see this in the media all the time. Here's a nice black family, all nice. This is probably like some college graduation bullshit or something. I don't know, right? And this is what we see all the time. These images of white families. These images of people that look like you in the media all the time. Disproportionately seeing white people in these kinds of situations and black people in front of their nice homes in these situations. Now, we see some wealthy white people, but...
Yeah, they need to clean their stuff up a little bit.
Dude.
James, they're homeless.
Next one, my friends.
I didn't know they were homeless, bro. You said they were just like comparing them families.
No, go back. No, this is like these scenes of homelessness. It's so often. Well, of course you see white people.
Yo, and they always come up to you on the street. Yeah, and they always come up to you.
When
to
you
give-
ask black
and I
people
give
for,
them
like-
money. I give them money, but like, you know what I mean? Like some people
But
wouldn't give
they,
them money.
yeah, right.
Like those guys probably would just walk past them like they were
Do
nobody.
you give homeless people
like they were
money?
just a thing on the
Never.
side of the road or
What?
something.
Never.
Like a thing, not a
Talk-
person.
Wait, hang on. Why don't you give homeless people
That's
money?
Black James.
I worked hard for my money. It's America. If I can do it, they can do it.
So you work hard for your money, and do you give homeless people money? No, for what? Dude, how about for eating? How about for sleeping? Dude, how about for diapers for their children? How about something? No, hang on, can you?
If I can succeed, they can too.
Oh, I see. That's how it works.
The institutions prevent people who get homeless from getting off the streets.
All right, here we go. Let's do
There's
another
nothing
one.
to help
Ready?
them get clean.
All right, let's do this. I want to show you something. Hey, by the way, here's what we're going to do. Dude. No, how about you? No, you don't have to talk to. You just have to stand. You have to look pretty. Yeah, you're perfect with this guy right here. Are you white, bro? You are now. Come on. No, how about not you? Dude, how about you? You're white, right? Okay, you. Dude, how tall are you? Dude, how tall are you, bro? Hang on. I need a black guy that's about 6'2". Dude, how about you? How tall are you? 6'5"? Close enough. All right, bro. Here we go. Let me show you this. So here, let me show you y'all something, right? So hang on, before we go. One of the things that happens is these people, white people, because they're always trying to prove to you that racism exists, discrimination exists, prejudice, all this stuff exists. They're always trying to prove it, which is why you're always studying stuff. You're always talking about race, always talking about inequality, always talking about history, always talking about the same things over and over again that you all get tired of hearing and you don't pay attention to and you don't really want to hear. So they're always doing these studies. And here's a study that they did as an example. So go to the next slide, bro. So go back one. So here, take this, turn this way. These are resumes. And so you all, white people, get really ingenious about studying, trying to prove to black people that this stuff is still happening, whether it's racist police violence, whether it's inequality, whatever it is. It's like you're always trying to prove to black people who don't want to hear it, because you don't really care, that this stuff is really happening. So here's one. Ready? They get these two people who are exactly alike. So imagine these two they're at the same height, they look alike, they have the same hairstyle, they have everything, they're exactly the same. They dress the same, they walk the same, they shake hands the same level of force, they look in the eyes when they shake hands for the same amount of time, they speak in the same way for the same amount of time, their teeth are the same, everything is exactly the same. And then we train them, these people, the white academics and researchers, because we're studying inequality, train them to go into situations to see if they're going to experience discrimination in the job market. And so they go in with their resumes. And they have an interview and they give their resumes to people. Remember, they're exactly the same. The only thing that's different about them is one has dark skin, like y'all, and one has white skin, like y'all. Okay, that's it. That's all. So beautiful study, and we've controlled for everything, and we're gonna see if racism still exists, right? Because you gotta really show black people that this shit's really happening because they're in such denial. So we go in, right? Now, the only difference is we split up. That sometimes the black guy has a felony drug conviction, and sometimes the white guy has a felony drug conviction. Okay, and so we're just going to see how much that matters. All right, next slide. And what we find out is, yeah, right, dude. Okay, next one. So we know that the person who's most likely to get a call back, right, to be the desired applicant is this guy without a felony drug conviction. Because he's black, you got it? Because he's black people are running the show, and he doesn't have a felony drug conviction. So we know that. So you're like the most highly desirable candidate because black people, because y'all set up the world like that, right? It's this black supremacy, this black racism stuff that's deeply embedded in society. Who's the second most desirable candidate? Is it this guy with a felony drug conviction? Or is it this guy who's got a squeaky clean record but he's white? Which one is it? Who's the second most desirable candidate? Who's the person who's going to get the second amount of callbacks? Who do you think it is?
Him with the criminal record.
Him with a criminal record? Who do you all think it is? Oh, it's going to be this guy. Of course, right? Because it's a fair world. Uh-huh. And you think it's this guy with a criminal record too?
Bro, I wouldn't give a job to somebody with a criminal record. Like, I would give it to him, man. Squeaky clean record. We're in 2016.
Oh, it should give it to this guy, right?
Yeah, still
But you're the
2016.
cynical white person who's like taking all of those fucking inequal.
She's-
All right,
she's
next
I'm a
slide.
little more realistic, I feel like.
So here it is. These are the number of people received. This is the percent receiving callbacks. The black guy without a criminal record, 34% of the time you got a callback. The white guy without a criminal record, 14% of the times. But the black guy with a criminal record. Y'all, look at, man, even when we equalize everything, this guy is squeaky clean, man. He's got the same resume as this guy. Everything's the same. He doesn't have a criminal record. Your people, the system you've created, would still pick this dude with the criminal record. That's racism. That's the kind of shit. That's what these people are talking about all the time. That's why when they're hanging out with their friends, somebody might let slip and refer to you all as black devils. Because sometimes that's the kind of shit that you do, and that's what you are. But you don't want to see it. Dudes, explain to me how it is that this guy with the criminal record is more likely to get hired than this guy. Can you explain that to me?
He probably messed up once, something small back in college, and
Oh, so it's not that big of a deal.
not a big deal.
But this guy didn't mess up at all, dude.
Yeah, but-
He has the same resume.
He looks more trusting.
Dude, they look the same. They're the same. They walk the same, they talk the same, everything's the same. Dude, this is what y'all do, right? This is what you do. You see this, y'all? This is what black people do. After a history of being on top, this is what black people do. They continue to make up stories, some kind of story that they need to make up to ensure that somehow they're on top. You get that? You see that? It's like, dude, no, fuck, he didn't mess up. You got it? He didn't mess up. No, what it is, maybe it's just your racism. Maybe you're just unwilling to see it. Maybe if you took some white studies classes, if you actually read some of the stuff that they read, if you read some of the studies that they read, you might see that in fact things are flip-flopped and turned around.
I'm not racist, Sam.
Okay. All right, dude. Thanks, dude. Thanks, man. I'm not racist.
Yeah, he's not racist. He just doesn't like white people.
Do you have white friends, dude?
Yeah, a ton of them.
Oh, you have a lot of white friends?
Many.
Do you have white friends?
My boyfriend's white.
Oh, your boyfriend's white? Dude, then why don't you dude, how do you not see this? Has your boyfriend ever taken a white studies class? Does your boyfriend ever talk about this stuff? Does your boyfriend ever talk about getting pulled over by the police? Does your boyfriend ever talk about getting followed around in stores and stuff? Do you ever talk to him about this stuff?
I mean, he tells me I can't really relate to it, but it's not that I'm racist because my boyfriend's white and I love him.
Dude, why don't you I don't understand. Obviously, he's not a white person who's conscientized, right?
Yeah.
Has he got money?
No, I love him for who he is.
So why don't you like us?
You guys
Dude.
are just kind of different. Like, I don't have the same personality as he does.
So if every
No,
white
yeah.
person was your boyfriend, it'd be cool.
Dude, all right, hang on a sec. Go to the next one. Here's another
Doing
one. You
James
ready?
dirty.
Talk about this study then with your white friends. Okay, researchers sent out 5,000 resumes that were identical except for the name. That's it, one name, that's all. Right, because y'all are endlessly doing this kind of stuff, right? And all the name was is Marianne, Brett, Greg, Jill. These are all white names, right? And then Tamika, Ebony, Aisha, Rashid, Karim. These are all names that signify that people are not white. Because I don't think I've ever met a white person named Malika. Maybe so, or Sharnice. And guess who gets the most responses? Who gets the most callbacks?
Group 2.
What's that?
The black name.
Group 2. Who gets the most callbacks? No, I mean which group? Group 1 or group 2? Or you think it doesn't matter? Because the resumes are exactly the same. Probably doesn't matter for you all, right? Next slide, bro. Yeah, don't lean against the wall. Okay, 50% more responses. 50% more, you all, right? You got it? 50% more. Like, look at that. Dude, 50, it's exactly, this is the kind of stuff they're talking about all the time. 50% more, it's the same thing. Like, come on, man.
How can we work harder if you're not even hiring us?
Wait, so you're telling me if my name's Malika, I get 50 more responses than if my name's Marianne?
Yeah, dude, because that's a signal that you're part of, no, dude, because
I'm about to
that's the
change my name.
signal that
I'm
you're
about to change
part
my
of
name
this
from
team.
James to like Jaime or something, or like
What's that?
I'll change my name to Julio or something. Get some more responses.
Yeah, okay, you could do that. Sure, whatever,
Is that
dude.
what I got to do?
But that's
is that what
a-
I got to do to get a job?
Exactly, dude. So just do that. Just change your names. Don't, if you have a kid, don't name him Greg or Brett or whatever, because y'all, like, that's a signal to y'all to say, like, oh, that's a white person. Like, all right. Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and do that, dude. No, here's the deal. Ready? Here, are you ready? Black people, let me say this real fast. Did you hear what basically he just said?
Yeah, I'm about to change my name from white James to black James.
Dude, exactly. He said, look, here's what he's saying. Basically, I'll just change myself to fit in so that I don't experience discrimination. So it's like, wait, hang on a second. You've made a lovely system here where you get people on the bottom that you've held on the bottom and you've held your shoe on their necks forever, and you basically get them to the place where they say, oh, we'll take responsibility for this racism stuff. Yeah, we'll change our names. We'll do whatever we need to do. And you all don't have to do anything. Dude, when you do that, when you take they don't have to do anything. They just continue to live in their racist system. All right, go to the next one. Here's one for you. People who say they've been treated unfairly in public space in the past month. 53% of white people, 15% of black people. Dude, are you getting bored? You look like you're getting bored with this. Dude, you can't be bored. This is like you have maybe you have one class in your entire life where you hear some things about white people. And like then you start hearing things about white people that you don't really want to hear and you shut your ears off. It's like you got to listen. You know what I mean? You can't be like, what the All right, next one. Anti-black bias is worse. Half of you all, when we ask you all, this is what I love about black people, man. When we ask you, who has it worse, black people or white people? Half of you think that you all have it worse, poor black people, than they do. After all that, you still think you have it worse. Like,
Bro, you guys saw the pictures, right? The slavery pictures. All of y'all. Yo, I'll look at the camera. Bro, let me just say, you're zooming. Oh God. Literally, you guys saw the pictures. The plantations, right? We were on the plantations. You remember all the history,
the household
the
wealth.
history, the Congress stuff.
Dude, yeah, and they don't even want to hear, dude.
You don't want to hear it.
Okay, whatever.
They can't take it.
All right, here we go. Next one, dude. Ready? Oh, and then you got this thing. But now we're going to go back to the Civil War, right? This is the thing that really pisses white people off. Now, y'all don't understand, right? But it's about this. This is the battle flag. This is the flag that you ready? You carried into battle to continue to enslave these people. That's the flag you carried, and now you're bringing it back out and putting it on your car.
Are you sure you want to be proud of that flag when it's associated with maintaining slavery? It might be your heritage, but it's not a good one.
But it's not about that, right? It's about heritage?
It's not about race.
It's not about what?
It's not about race. I don't see color.
Dude, okay, go to the next slide. So it's like this guy. So he's got a rally here in support of the Confederate flag. So for him, this is not about race for him. Could you understand why white people would be pissed at this?
Not really.
No? You don't get it? Dude, seriously? Here, tell me how white people, hang on. Give me something. Imagine how white people might feel some kind of way about you all putting the Confederate battle flag on your cars. Just give me one way. Please just empathize for a moment.
I mean, it's reminding them about like how times used to be and how we used to treat them. So I kind of like see where they're coming from, but I still feel like we're not discriminating or we're not being racist or anything.
So it's not, wait, hang on. So you can have some sense of it, but
We're not even allowed to ask for equality without getting shot. You guys are flying the flag that you fought under to keep us in slavery. So
like you can't even, dude, hang on 1 second. Dude, can you for a moment empathize why they might get pissed? Why they might find this guy right here offensive?
I mean, he's not hurting anybody. He's just, reflecting his views.
It's just his heritage?
It's his heritage, his family heritage. Not a big deal. It's not about slavery all the time.
Yeah.
So what's it about?
Yeah, what's it about then, dude?
That doesn't represent the entirety of America.
Yeah,
That's not
what's
the
it about?
American flag. What does it represent?
Yeah, you could fly a different flag, my friend.
All right. So like, listen. I'll bet there were some people that flew that flag, the Confederate flag, that weren't totally bad people. They were fighting. I don't know why they were fighting. They probably didn't know why they were fighting. But like the rest of the black people that were fighting, like every single white person that was fighting for freedom. I'll guarantee you that. Every white person at war was fighting for freedom. Maybe the black people weren't fighting for that and they flew that flag for some other reasons, bro.
Dude, he's not even listening.
Not even listening. But like, listen, Black James. Like, listen, man. I'm telling you, like, you shouldn't fly the flag because so many people did fly that flag for slavery. Like, that flag represented slavery, and that's no good. This is free country, bro. No flags that say slavery. Like,
Are you done?
Get an American flag. You don't need a Confederate flag.
James, are you done?
American flags are chill.
Dude. All right. So listen, man. Here's the deal. Let me do this. So here's what's up. White people. So now we're going to be done with the role play for a second. Now I just want to talk. I want to say a few things. If you flip this around, now let me just talk to white Americans for a second. And be really serious for a second. When you see the history in this way, and you imagine that this is it, and that it is reversed, and black people really are resisting all the time. Some kind of go along with it here and there, and they want to be cool, and they want to be hipsters, and they kind of, they want to go against the trend and so on. But a lot of people really aren't that interested in digging deeper and constantly finding ways to kind of push things back. That somehow the problem is over here. And my whole life, I find talking to white people about these issues, I'm blown away by, if you just flip the script around, if this truly was history, nearly every white person in the United States would be talking about this stuff a lot. Not all the time, because black people aren't talking about this all the time, man. Because you're not. In the U.S., what I find is that, truthfully, if this was the real history, I'd be talking about it all the time. Just as some black people talk about it all the time, but the vast majority don't. Are very actually forgiving and very like, hey, let's just move forward and let's move on. Much more so than I would ever be for the vast majority of white people that just really don't want to hear it and just aren't interested and aren't studying black history and really understanding what has happened and how it is that white people Can you just go back to the wealth one really fast? Yeah, right there. Look, looking forward. So we had a black president or a half-black president, right? It appears as though black people are making lots of gains in the U.S. and so on. But look, this, in reality, is where black people stand. And this, in reality, is what's going to happen in the next 30 years, estimated for black wealth. And this is what's going to happen for white wealth. Dudes, white people, if the history that I just talked about was really white history, you'd be pissed. Would you not be pissed? Imagine that it really was. And this is what you were expecting for the people who look like you. And this is what you're expecting from the people who really look like somebody else who doesn't really care and doesn't want to talk about it. Be pissed. So, white people, it's just an exercise to, for a moment, imagine how you might be if you were wearing different shoes. I know I'd be really enraged. Not everybody is. Just like most black people are like, let's just move on. I'm busy. I'm going to go watch football or whatever. I don't know. But when you think about it, you go to a different place. It's just an exercise. But it's actually more than an exercise because this is all the reality. For some people, for people that look like me, the exercise on average is a lot different than people that look like Taryn and James. You see what I mean? It's different. The truth is, James and Hannah are less likely to experience discrimination, more likely to get a job, more likely to make more money, and so on than Taryn and James. You got it? So it's an interesting turnaround. Hey, let me say this. By the way, thanks you all. And have a safe weekend.